welcome back to the CrossFit Ethos podcast. We are on episode number 10. Now, you're probably wondering who the hell is with me today. So, without further ado, I'll let her just kind of introduce herself a little bit more on a personal note. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hi, so my name is Mycah, and I am here to be the new coach at Ethos. So a little bit of background on me is I started CrossFit in about late 2012, did coaching for about 10 years or so, and then left that life because of life. Because of life. And then I found myself in a quote-unquote corporate job with LSKD, and I also found myself teaching at Strong. And then here I am again, my roots calling me back to CrossFit.
There you go. For those that don't know, Mycah and I actually have known each other for about the same time that she's mentioned that she's been coaching. So we've known each other for over a decade now. So even if she is new to the space, she is not foreign to us at all. And matter of fact, she's what we consider is a high caliber coach, having plenty of certifications and years under her belt. So something definitely exciting for the Ethos group. Now, that being said, Mycah, so let's jump off the concept here. You are the new coach. What do you feel that you bring onto the table now that you've had, we'll say, 1 or 2 weeks of exposure to how we run things in Ethos, the members and the coaches? What sets you apart and what do you feel like you bring to the table?
That's a tough one because all of the classes that I've attended and observed have been really, really good. All of the coaches are really knowledgeable, and that was one of the things that I really prided myself with, I guess, is that back when I was outside, you could really see the stark difference in okay, this person is this level of coaching and then this person is maybe still learning, still growing. But coming into a box where all of you are up there, really hard to see where I kind of
You mentioned something in your interview questions that something about tough love.
Tough love,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm a fan of that answer, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So tough love. I believe that I'm one of those coaches who kind of get misunderstood because of tough love. So if you guys didn't know, I was a wushu athlete growing up, and my coach was tough love. So for me, I grew up with that kind of tough love, but it worked really well for me. But I felt like there was something that I could add on to it now that I'm also a coach. So that was a little bit of care, compassion, and empathy. But to focus on that tough love type of thing, if I have this one example of a client who wanted me to coach her for competition. In the middle of a 15-minute workout, she gave up on me at the 12th minute. And I sat her down and I was like, you know what? I'm a very nice coach, but I'm not the type of coach who's gonna baby you. If you want to compete, I will help you reach that goal. But you have to step up. It can't just be from my end because I can't let you win. That has to come from you.
Yeah.
So we had that really, really, I would say heart to heart, a little bit of a tough conversation. She ended up crying and I was like, I'm sorry if it's hurtful to you, but I'm just being straightforward with you. I'm not going to baby you. I am going to help you realize the potential that you have. So
kind of help a person be their own great rather than be great through you or anything like that.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm a big fan of that personality because I feel even if coaching and athletes and coaching members is a direct relationship and correlation, at the end of the day, it's not about the coaches. We stick to our professionalism. We do our job. A person's great is all up to the athlete, and our job really is really create guidelines. So I love that was sort of your mindset. So I kind of want to backtrack a little bit because I feel where a person is when it comes to their profession and their career and how they do things is deeply rooted in how they came into the space. So let's go back about 10 years-ish or so to about 2012 when things were just starting out for CrossFit for you and I, and even here in the Philippines. How did you kind of transition into the space, but also how did you transition from being a CrossFitter to a CrossFit coach?
Okay, so this is really interesting because back in 2012, my two brothers and my sister, they found CrossFit. And they started going to this box. They would not shut up about CrossFit. You know how it was
Typical
cult
CrossFit,
status?
cult
Yeah,
status,
cult status. And I was just at home at dinner, they're like, CrossFit, CrossFit, CrossFit. And I was like, shut up. And so like I was never interested, but my sisters were. And the classes at the box that they were at just never, like the schedule never fit theirs. So they were like, hey, can you guys open a lunchtime class for us? And then they were like, okay, come here with like this number of people and then we'll open the lunch class for you. So I was a filler. I was the body that was added just so that we reach that minimum. So I was thrust into the space. And my first class, I mean, I know everybody says this, but my first class was really like, I got served a big slice of humble pie. Among the group, I was one of the competitive athletes. Like I said, I was an athlete growing up. Out of that group, I was the only one who was not allowed to do push-ups on the floor. So my ego was really struck. Like the coach was like, oh no, you're not allowed to do push-ups on the floor, do it on a box because you're doing it wrong, or like something like that. So the second one was in that same workout, there were double unders programmed and I had no double unders. I had no single unders. I was a Chinese garter type of girl. So I didn't do skipping rope or anything like that. So apparently, instead of like jumping up and down like this, I would jump side to side. And my two eldest sisters were laughing at me. They're like, ha, you look dumb. And then I was like, just you wait, just you wait. So like, that was the intro, like, all of those succeeding classes. It kept on showing me how much more I had room to grow. It really piqued my interest in movement and biomechanics, basically. And then from there, we opened our own box. I came in as a coaching intern. So that's where I found coaching. And then I found out that I was really, really passionate about it. And the reason that I was passionate about it was because I wanted to help people. It wasn't just about helping people like reach their goals. It could be helping people realize the potential that they had in them. Like I'm a really big fan of that. And then it could also be just helping people be more able, like in their daily lives, like basically just improving the quality of life.
I remember you mentioned in your interview questions that you talked a little bit about longevity.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of hinge on that a little bit, because let's be real. When I met you, you were 19.
Yeah.
30 something now, right?
Yeah.
So we've known each other for a very long time. And let's be real, like when we were younger, we definitely were in that space of this hybrid between this coach and athlete, performing athlete. And even as of late, like you and I were both in the recent Lokal Legends. So we're legends now. Can you imagine that? We're old, basically. And so you had a phase where you were still kind of pushing that athlete vibe as well, still in that hybrid space. I'd like to think that, especially where I'm at right now, where I'm definitely leaning very hard on primarily and mainly being a coach, whereas athlete is supporting my longevity lifestyle. How do you feel your sense of being an athlete translates into your line of coaching in the sense of like, how would you train yourself? I know, because there's a difference between like when you give it to others as like as a tough love, but like how would you also correlate your experiences as an athlete and how that has prepared you to coach better now that we're older?
I feel like, I know I mentioned this in my interview questions before, the word empathy. When I was younger, during training, I definitely did not give myself empathy. No matter what I was going through in life, if I come in to train, regardless of what I was feeling, regardless of how my body felt, like just push, push, push. And then when I push, 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 I don't reach the goal that I had set in my mind for that particular training day. It's beat yourself up about it. And I guess now that I'm a little more mature, I guess like as a coach to athletes, like I guess that extending empathy to them and helping them extend the same empathy to themselves. Like just to guide them in that direction where, okay, this is something that I actually also really admire about Ed. And that's why I found myself aligned with process. And that's why you guys do RPE, right? Or stuff like RIR, yeah. Because if you just have percentages in a program and then you aren't able to hit those percentages, you come home feeling like a failure. But then if it's just rate of perceived effort or RIR, and then you hit this number, there's no, I'm a failure today. But like, okay, this is what I had today. This is what I get to give. If I have 40% and I gave 40% today, that's 100%, right? So I like that kind of empathy to yourselves. Like, I just want to encourage that in athletes.
Awesome. So you said a word there that I really like. You said alignment, and I think that's such a key role or keyword. Like for instance, in the past few months, you've seen some changes in ethos. We even brought in Tasha, and one common theme I believe between the three of us is there's some form of like a rebirth, sort of like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Now I'm not saying we were dead. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that all three of us experienced the same thing, where we were pulled away from CrossFit in some shape or form and then brought back in, all through just ethos. And I think each of us had our own different reasons on why we said yes to ethos and why we gravitated towards ethos. But if you could kind of share what brought you, what attracted you to ethos, obviously apart from being recruited and being asked, but I mean, what made you say yes, in essence?
Let's talk a little bit about first, like, why I left. I mean,
Sure.
not in depth, but like basically I was burnt out from
Yeah.
CrossFit and from coaching. Handling athletes in general, like I really wanted to remove myself from that space. And I never stopped coaching because I still coach at Strong,
Yes,
and it's
yeah.
still really, really fulfilling because I still get to help people. But like, I guess like a year and almost a year and a half after leaving CrossFit, and Polly messaged, and then I found myself like really, really excited. I was like, oh wow, I didn't realize I was ready again for this world.
Yeah.
So Ian was like, my husband, he goes like, okay, you know, I can tell that you're really excited, but you have current goals now. And when you come in there, I know that you really want to say yes, but listen first to what they have to say. See if it aligns with you and where you want to be 5 to 10 years from now. And then I was like, yeah, of course I have that mindset also, but thanks for the reminder, right? So when we met with Polly and Jairus, I shared all of these sentiments about being burnt out and not wanting to handle athletes and stuff like that. So they shared about the in-depth programming and all of that. They also shared stuff about the values of ethos. And one of the things that I really liked about it was I kept on saying the word work for you. And then they kept on saying, you don't work for us. We are a team. You're part of the team now. You're part of the family now. And then I was just like, oh. And basically like all of those little things that ethos stands for, like it aligns with my principles as well. And now that I'm a little bit more mature,
Older. Yeah.
older,
Yeah.
now that I'm past my 30s, finding workspaces or work environments that align very, very closely with my personal values is very important. Like, I can't just say yes for the sake of saying yes, because what if it happens again where I just burn myself out? Or like, what if it happens that I start to resent the people that I am with, you know? So I feel like with the way Polly and Jairus like sort of packaged how it is in ethos, like I feel like, okay, I feel like this is a space that I want to explore and see how much I can grow in. Yeah.
So, quick fire question for you. From an outsider, semi-outsider perspective, kind of looking in, we've been immersing you in ethos for a couple of weeks now, I'd say. So you've seen how the community works. You've seen how the atmosphere breathes. What are your insights? What do you think about the space? What do you think about the people so far? What are your thoughts?
So for the classes that I've observed, for me the word is kenkoy.
Yeah, there you go.
They are
fun.
so kenkoy, and like I love how you can tell that there is a slight air of competitiveness, but like the majority of the air is just building each other up. And yeah, like it's such a nice space
It's a good
to
space,
be in. Yeah, like
so there's that. Like I think one thing that I mean, obviously we're a year and a half and old now, and there have been some kind of shifts in the perspective of a lot of things, and for the most part, our members have gotten extremely strong. But you know, in terms of being themselves, it remains the same. And I feel like I'm seeing more dualities in people, meaning we are succeeding in our ability to make workouts be autonomous, but at the same time, never lose their individuality. In a sense that if you came in not as a competitor, you remain not as a competitor unless some part of you kind of yearns for that. Then we start to nurture that. And so if you are the kind of person that has like a full-time job and wants to do workouts as fun, or the other way around, it's still supported.
Yeah.
And that can just coexist so well in a space, you know? So definitely, guys, I'm sure you've seen her around at on the floor, kind of observing for now. In a few weeks' time, you're gonna see both Coach Mycah and Coach Tasha take on the floor for our LPC classes, and hopefully you guys are excited as we are in terms of their development. Mycah, any final words to our viewers, all 10? No, I'm just kidding. all of our Ethos viewers and non-Ethos viewers as well.
Hi, hello everybody. I don't bite. I'll see you. I'll see you at the WOD floor, and yeah.
All right, team. Thank you for joining us again for the CrossFit Ethos podcast, episode number 10, where we got to know our very own upcoming Coach Mycah. And again, you guys will see her at the gym, and you will see me, as always, at the box. We'll see you guys on the next one.